Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. This video is a real free-flowing, let your mind go, chuck it all in, trust the process and have fun kind of video. I am going to be using these vinyl waterproof jar labels that I got from Amazon, and some of you may remember last year I made these. These were absolutely one of my favorites. They were vintage key rings using the exact same jar labels, stamps and keys. And if you do remember this video, you might remember that I couldn't read any of these stamps. They were so detailed, and so many of you said, Claire, they're quite horrific. Some of them talk about death and condolences at the funeral and things like that. But we are ramping it up. We are going joyful, fun, bright colours for Valentine's, and I've got some stunning stamps to play with. Now, here's the only rule. You just need alcohol inks to have fun with this, and trust me, you are gonna love it because it just frees you up and you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna be using red, pink and blue alcohol inks along with some gold. Now, I'd actually run out of gold and I have filled my bottle back up with isopropyl alcohol. This is 99% isopropyl alcohol, and I've put in some gold floating pigment powder from Just For You Online. I don't know at this point if it's even gonna work, but I didn't have any, so we're just gonna go have fun and just let it all go. Now, like I said, these are waterproof vinyl label stickers. I know that they're gonna work in resin because they are vinyl. And like I said earlier, you just gotta trust the process. Throw on your alcohol inks, have fun, choose your color schemes, work out what's gonna work for you, and just go for it. Go for it. Here you see me. I've already laid down some red dots of the alcohol ink. Then I'm just going to add in some of the pink and some of the blue and some of the gold. There's really no rhyme or reason. I'm not putting too much thought into it. I'm just blobbing and splodging this ink all over the place. I'm then taking a sponge. This is one of my old face painting sponges from when I used to do face painting events, and I'm dabbing it all over. The thing is with this project, it's down to you when to leave it. I could have left it right here at this point because it's already looking pretty Valentine's-y. It's also looking very Halloween-y, gory. So, you know, take from it what you will. Take from it what you will. I then decided to blot over the top with some tissue just to bring some of that off. And here's the magic. Honestly, I could have just left it here. It's pretty as is. But because they are waterproof vinyl, you can just keep going. You can just keep going, layering it up until you are happy with the finished result. It was at this point I added the gold. It definitely didn't act the way the original alcohol ink would have acted, but still I got my gold in there, and I'm just using tissue to just dab it all over and remove the excess. Because this is all alcohol, it actually evaporates so fast. But guys, watch the magic. Watch the magic. Look at this. I decided, you know what? I've not tried this before. Let me just spray it with some 99% alcohol. And look what it's done. That 99% is obviously way stronger than any of those alcohol inks. And it has almost removed them. And it's definitely lightened this up because I wasn't looking for something quite so dark. But yeah, I decided to just keep going and have a play at this point. It is 100% down to you as the creator to decide when to stop, when enough is enough, when you are fully happy with the design that you created. So on this first one, I just decided to keep going and having a play. And of course, you can see some marks left over there from the toilet roll. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that. So whilst I'll say, like, let your hair down, go with the flow, trust the process, there are some things I didn't want in there. So I did try to remove those marks left over by the toilet roll. It is my first go this time around. So it is my first go playing with these inks. And because this was the first sheet, I just decided to show you guys that it doesn't matter how many layers you put on. You just have to keep going until you are fully happy with the process. And plus it was fun. It was almost therapeutic because this is definitely like one of those air dry clay or polymer clay activities where you can just totally get lost. Like, you can literally just get lost in the process. Put the radio on, have some, a cup of tea, and just really chill and enjoy the process of creating your favorite background color. Now, it was at this point I felt like maybe I'd gone a little bit too light. So I did go one more round, and I made a decision in my head, like, I've had enough fun now, Claire. You've had enough fun. However this round turns out is exactly how I'm going to keep it. So I just went back in with some of that red and pink and then sprayed my alcohol. Again, look at this. It looks like a whole bundle of miniature hearts. I love it. One dab of paper and look at the result. This is bang on. This is exactly what I want. And I know you're probably thinking, what are you even going to do, Claire? What are you going to use these for? Now, you would have seen that clip at the beginning of the video from last year. We're going down a similar route, but very dissimilar. We're not doing the same exact thing here. I decided to carry on. Now, I have sped these ones up for you. I definitely don't spend as much time on this one as I did the first one. I kind of knew what I was looking for second time around, and when I got that result that I was craving, then I just stopped. I didn't go any further than that. But right now, right here, these colors are absolutely beautiful, and they are the epitome of Valentine's. And this is pretty much where I left it, apart from giving it one little blot with the tissue. Perfection! This is very much a random project. So if you like things very, very neat, orderly, and, in a line, this might not necessarily be for you. But if you are happy to let things take over and just go with the flow, then this is absolutely the right project for you. Now, I'm going to be using my Stays On permanent black ink. I was toying with the idea of using different color inks, but if I'm honest, black is the only one that's really gonna do it for me. It's the only one that's gonna hit the spot and give me that wow, pow, kind of bold, in your face impact. And I was not wrong. It came out so amazing. I love them. Like, excuse the pun, but the stamp is absolutely gorgeous. It's got chunks of bold font, coupled with some real faint font in the background that, again, I can barely read, but it's that bold that I was really, really looking for. And where you stamp, again, let it be free. Don't put too much thought into it. Just stamp randomly and you'll get like half words. You'll be chopping bits off here and there anyway when it comes to actually creating your final project with these. Just be free. That is all I'm saying. This is the most freeing project you could possibly ever do. Now, here is when I went off. I used one of the other stamps and it was an immediate no. It was too meh for me. It wasn't good enough, so I didn't even use that sticker there. Now, off camera, I did create a blue one. So we've got our reds and pinks, we've got our pinky purples, and we've got our blues. But I did that off camera because I know you guys are not going to want to sit through that again. But yeah, I just made sure that pretty much every centimeter of these labels were covered in some kind of stamp font, because what I'm going to do with them afterwards really matters. I don't want any blank spaces, so I was really trying to coat those spaces as much as I could and not leave huge gaps. This one here, again, I just went off the side, and whilst this is black permanent ink, honestly, I've got a black mat, so I'm never gonna know, and I use my alcohol quite often to clean my silicone mat, so it is all good. And this is the finished result, and I absolutely love them. I bought a whole bunch. Can we talk about it? I got so excited. I decided I'm going to go down the open or closed bezel route with a 1-inch hole and a 1-inch hole punch. Now, how you finish these off is entirely up to you. I decided not to use the open bezels today. I'm going to use the closed bezels. These are the bezels that come with a back already on them, which is going to save me having to stick my bezels down onto tape. They have got a wonky hole at the top, so you do have to lay them on clay to get them flat. And of course, they come with the matching glass domed cabochons. This was my vision, guys. I was so happy to bring my vision to life. I spent some time cutting out my 1-inch round circles from the stickers. What I didn't do, I did not put any thought at all into the stamping process and where I was going to cut my holes. It didn't matter to me if words were cut in half. It didn't matter to me. I wanted that randomness, that only real, that creativity is all yours and it could never be replicated. And that is what I absolutely love. The one thing I did need to do, you see me doing here, is trim a straight line across the side of those labels, because these labels have got those fluted beveled edges and I didn't want that in there. So to get a true 1-inch cut from these labels, I did have to cut that side off. This is where my brand new hole punch totally jammed. I thought I broke it. I don't think it could handle the sticky label. Equally, I think punching a hole in your label quite fast is key. Don't go slowly, just whack it, slap it down and get that hole cut out. Because the slower I went, the more precise I was, it got stuck and it got jammed loads. It got jammed so often. So again, it might be because this material is a sticky vinyl label and it just doesn't like sticky. And it's all good. It all worked out in the end. I just used my scissors, gave it a bit of a jab. I had to peel out some of the label that got stuck inside and it was fine afterwards. It worked absolutely fine. Now for the closed bezels. These, like I said, the loophole at the top where you thread your chain is not flush to the surface. So I did have to rest them on some air dry clay. I just got a couple of blobs of air dry clay. When it came to putting the tops on, when it came to putting the cabochons on the top, I did have to rest them on tiny little blobs of air dry clay just to keep them flat, because of course I don't want that resin going anywhere. So of course they are 1-inch bezels and I've used a 1-inch hole punch, which means there is going to be overlap. They're not naturally going to fit inside the bezels. So I did have to go around each edge just with my nail, well, Amazon's nail, it's not really my nail, and just make sure that the edge of that label was fully stuck inside. Like this one here, you can see I didn't notice, but I hadn't cut a pure circle, so I just swapped it out for another one that was a pure circle. Again, shoving it in to the closed bezel and using the tip of my thumbnail to really wedge the rest of that label down inside. Otherwise, I was really worried that the cabochons wouldn't fit nicely on top. And you can see here, I've got words that have letters missing. I've got whole words that have been chopped in half, and that is the beauty of this. The freedom that this project gives you. The only negative or downside I can find to this project is knowing when to stop. I've actually bought myself some A4 vinyl, A4 guys, printer paper size stickers. Just one big massive sheet, because I'm sorry, can you imagine that fun? I think I'd be there for hours just going over and over until I get the most beautiful patterns with the alcohol ink. That's the only downside, genuinely, because the rest is amazing fun. Now, these are the glass cabochons. Again, I might do what I did in a previous video and make molds of those glass cabochons at some point, but I didn't need to do that for today's video. I've got loads. This is where I needed them to be as flat as possible to lay down my UV resin in order to be able to place my cabochons down on. Now, you don't want much UV resin. You just want a really small bead in the center of your closed bezel, because as soon as you lay that cabochon down, it is going to automatically spread that UV resin out and self-level, and if you put too much, it is going to push it out and up and over the edges and make a mess, and you don't want that. So this was the tricky part for me, because there were a couple that did leak out and over the edge, and I cleaned them up with a cotton bud before I put them into the UV light. You could also just cure them and clean them up afterwards with a blade, but yes, be careful. Here you see me, how slowly I was going, trying to create a bead. I should have stopped here. I should have stopped already. I'm already putting too much in, and this is one of those that did spread out and come out and over the edge, but look at how it magnifies. Again, stop here. That's all you need, Claire. Stop. Again, I put too much into this one as well. Way too much. You do not need this much. You just need a real small pea-sized blob of you. Wait, where am I going? Like, where am I going? If you didn't want this 3D glass dome effect, you could just fill them up with UV resin and have them flat and try and create a little dome. But yeah, how you finish them off, like I always say, is entirely up to you. But the freedom this one gives is next level. Like, it is unreal how much fun I had making these. And it was very hard to stop at just 5. I wanted to use up my entire pack of closed bezels, I'm not gonna lie, because how funky do they look? I am obsessed. Now, I don't, I know I say that a lot. I don't get obsessed in every single video, but this is one that I am utterly obsessed with. I love the results. They are totally unique, could not be replicated. Now, I did get these kind of backing cards to make them look super bougie and fancy and like make it look like I'm a professional and that I know what I'm doing. I only had 2 left though, so 2 of them got to go on the cards and the other 3 are just sitting here. Now, the black rope, if you're wondering, is faux black leather rope from Amazon. Again, all linked in my Amazon storefront down below. But I cannot tell you how much I have enjoyed filming this one. It's just the simplest form of fun, and there's really not much to it. You just let yourself splodge the ink everywhere, use some toilet roll or tissue paper to blot it off, and just keep going till you're happy. Once you've got your happy background, you can use any stamp you want, any stamp. Botanicals, animals, Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Independence Day, all of the days. There are stamps for them. Use the stamps that you've got, create something that you love, shove it in a closed bezel with a glass cabochon on top, and I'm sorry, what? I love them. I hope you do too, and I hope this has inspired you. If you do go on to create these, again, don't forget #ClaireMadeMeDoIt. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give me that thumbs up. It really is that thumbs up that helps me to grow. There's not much else. Like, YouTube really look for that thumbs up. So if you have enjoyed this, please don't forget to go now and hit that thumbs up. I massively appreciate you. If you've been with me in the live chat, I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.